This job sucks. The system sucks. And I want to be thrown in jail for 24 hours so I can get some sleep. No, not the rantings and ravings of Michael Popak on the Midas Touch Network. That was attorney Julie Lee working for the Department of Justice in a courtroom in the United States, in Minneapolis, in response to Judge Blackwell asking Julie Lee why, in the 5 habeas corpus petition cases that I'm handling for migrants who are unconstitutionally spending their time in jail instead of out and about, why have there been so many violations of my orders? And this was Julie Lee's response. Not some random person on the street, a person who volunteered for the job, a person who used to work for ICE and decided to go to Minneapolis and help the Department of Justice. And then in tears during this court appearance, basically threw herself on the mercy of the court and asked to be thrown in jail so she could get some sleep. I'm Michael Popak. You're on Midas Touch and Legal AF. Okay. A couple of days ago, I reported that the chief judge of all the federal courts in Minnesota, Judge Schultz, in an order, declared the following about the Trump administration. He said that in the month of January, that there have been 96 court orders in 74 different cases in Minnesota alone in the month of January 2026 alone. And he thinks that number is underreported. He said of those about 100 court orders violated, he believes that ICE has violated more court orders in January of 2026 than some federal agencies have violated in their entire existence. And he says it's going to stop now. ICE is not a law unto itself, Chief Judge Schultz wrote. ICE has every right to challenge its orders, but it has to follow its orders unless they're overturned or vacated. Which brings us forward a handful of days later to Julie Lee in court. Now, Julie Lee is not an assistant U.S. attorney. I guess she's been deputized to be such for now. She apparently, according to reporting on the ground in Minneapolis, worked in ICE as an attorney in immigration court. Okay. She decides, I guess, either compelled or she decides on her own to go help out the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota. Why? Because there's only about 5 or 6 people left there. Most of the office and all of its leadership has walked out the door. Things are so bad in Minnesota's U.S. Attorney's Office, where the U.S. Attorney, all senior leadership walked out the door, that during a discussion with Greg Bavino, who's now, of course, departed from Minneapolis, Minnesota, but he was head of Border Patrol, he actually thought it was okay to make fun of the religion of the replacement U.S. attorney, who happens to be Orthodox Jewish, talking about him being the chosen people and complaining about him not being available on the Sabbath to talk to Greg Bavino. That's how